Good afternoon, everyone. This is your afternoon edition of the weekly weather briefing, which we'll be doing from now on every Tuesdays and Saturday afternoons. Now, first we're going to take a look at our temperatures across the region, and as you can see, they're very nice and seasonable for this time of year, with temperatures being in the 60s across much of the Piedmont region, and temperatures closer to the 70s across the Washington and Baltimore metropolitan areas. Here are our current hazards across our region. And as you can see, we have a red flag warning in effect for most of our area with the exception of far northern Maryland. This means that conditions are favorable for potential wildfires to spread if any combustion source is left unattended. In general, outdoor burning is relatively discouraged today because any outdoor fire left unattended could possibly start a wildfire. So be sure to practice fire safety today and tonight. Here are forecasted lows tonight, mostly 40s in most areas with some 30s out along the Shenandoah Valley and points west, and even some isolated pockets in northern Maryland. Here are forecasted highs for tomorrow, and the absolutely gorgeous weather continues, with highs across much of our region reaching into the low to mid 70s, with some areas in central Virginia even cracking 80. Lows for tomorrow night will be more seasonably average, with lows being in the low to mid 50s across central Virginia and the Washington and Baltimore metropolitan areas, with some areas across northern Virginia and northern Maryland getting down into the 40s. Thursday's unfortunately when the gorgeous weather stops for a little bit, with most of our region reaching into the 80s with some exception along higher elevations, with maybe even potentially Fredericksburg and Charlottesville reaching into the low 90s. Thursday night, still pretty muggy, not much relief with lows being only in the 60s across the DC and Baltimore metropolitan areas and being within the upper 50s elsewhere. Friday, even more muggy with pretty much our entire region reaching into the 80s with areas from central Virginia into the immediate Washington and Baltimore metro areas reaching into the 90s. Friday night, again, not much relief for basically our entire area, with most areas not even going below 60, with the exception of parts of the Shenandoah Valley and the Allegheny Front. Saturday afternoon, temperatures will finally cool again, with highs only being in the 80s across the immediate Washington and Baltimore metro areas, with highs in the upper 70s elsewhere. Saturday night, again, lows being in the 50s across the Washington and Baltimore metro areas, with lows being in the upper to mid 40s elsewhere. Sunday, it'll be a lot different for our area as temperatures will actually be cooler than average for this time of year, with much of the Washington and Baltimore metro areas as well as parts of central Virginia only getting into the 60s, and the Shenandoah Valley in points west only getting into the 40s or 50s. And again, Sunday night, a little bit cooler than average, with lows reaching all the way down into the 40s across the Washington and Baltimore metro areas, with some areas out west getting down into the 30s along the Shenandoah Valley and Allegheny Front. Monday again, temperatures even cooler than Sunday, with highs only being in the low 60s across the immediate Washington and Baltimore metro area, as well as portions of central Virginia, and pretty much all areas west of the Blue Ridge and parts of northern Maryland, never even getting above 60. Now we're going to take a look at the surface analysis, which will be a great tool to potentially detect any hazardous weather that may affect us within the next 7 days. We currently have a stationary front situated around our area, but not really much precip or really anything connected with this, as we have two high pressure systems, one off the coast of South Carolina and another in western Pennsylvania, which will keep our area dry for this time of the year. Later tonight, again, pretty much clear across our entire region. Wednesday morning, again, not really any significant weather threat for our area, although if we turn towards the Midwest, maybe some showers and thunderstorms across Iowa, with maybe even some snow across Montana and North Dakota. Again, still quiet throughout our region, but we have a system brewing across the central United States, which will eventually come towards our region. Thursday evening, again, the ridge holding strong, keeping our area pretty much clear of any hazardous weather, but that soon might change as we head into the weekend. Friday morning, again, still clear across our entire region. Saturday morning and afternoon, again, maybe some showers, maybe some thunderstorms associated with the low, but the potential hazards are too uncertain to make any accurate forecast at this time. And then Sunday, our cold front comes through, which will bring us slightly cooler than average temperatures for this time of year, but will keep our area mostly dry. Again, Monday, the system is off the coast, and we have a new high-pressure ridge setting in across the southeast, which will keep our area clear. And then Tuesday again, our ridge continues, and we'll still experience cooler than average temperatures, but clear skies. Here's the day 1 outlook from our Storm Prediction Center. So today and tonight, and as you can see, a pretty broad marginal risk extending from northwest Texas all the way into portions of Minnesota, South Dakota, and Wyoming. Now we're on to day 2, and the Storm Prediction Center has outlined a potential for strong to severe thunderstorms from western Oklahoma all the way to central Iowa. Day 3, again, you have another standard slight risk indicating the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms from, this time, eastern Texas all the way to southeast Missouri, including much of the state of Arkansas and the northwest corner of Louisiana. And then day 4, again, another slight risk extending from southeastern Texas into central Louisiana and portions of far western Mississippi. Here's the forecasted rainfall amount for the next 7 days, and as you can see, we'll have roughly around an inch or so from the next system coming through, but again, any potential impacts that we might see from the system will remain uncertain and may change within the next few days or so. Here's the day 6 to 10 Climate Prediction Center of both temperature and precipitation outlook, and if this verifies, we'll see below average temperatures across much of our region with around roughly average precipitation. Again, days 8 to 14, we'll see slightly below average temperatures with maybe slightly above average precip across our region. That will do it for today's edition of our weekly weather briefing. Our next weekly weather briefing will be on Saturday, April 22nd, or if there happens to be a significant enough event on any one of the days in between, we will post a weekly weather briefing for that as well.